Good evening, friends. Another very interesting topic, and I may say, using a superlative, this is the most important topic, the art of seeing. The topic has two important words, art and seeing. So, both are very important because he never used any superfluous or superficial or any light. He used always a specific word for that. And we are all artists in our own way. We all are artists in our own way. But JK used this word art in a specific way where everything is in its proper place, in order. That is what he says. That is an art. That is called art. Otherwise, art of living, you see, Ravi Shankarji started a big movement, art of living. Then another equally important thing is the art of listening. Art of listening. Both require full attention. All the senses are fully active and alert. Seeing has a full range in humans. From casual looking to clairvoyance, likewise clairaudience, likewise and insight and foresight. These are the words associated with seeing, seeing beyond seeing. You see? So seeing is a very important thing. Seeing is the only truth, somewhere he said. So likewise, I'll put reading must be included in this class. How can we read without the self? If we read few quotations only, we will know fragments of what author intended and our specific liking for that. Then only we pick up quotations and present it. So otherwise, JK used to, if you see any of his lectures or discussions, he is quite complete in his, even if you take meditations, 1 page, if you take 10 lines, everything he said included every other thing he wanted to say. So that is the art he had to put before us and share. Now we'll come to what this art of seeing. You see, here Krishna Murthy speaks. Please, friends, listen very carefully. I am not there, I am not here as a visual, or otherwise also myself is also not there. So you be with yourself while listening what he said. It is important, I think, to understand the nature and the beauty of observation, of seeing. As long as the mind is in any way distorted by neurotic promptings and feelings, by fear, sorrow, by health, by ambition, snobbishness, and the pursuit of power, it cannot possibly listen, watch, or see. You see, here he has included listening and watching both. The art of seeing, listening, watching is not a thing to be cultivated. It is not a question of evolution and gradual growth. When one is aware of danger, there is immediate action. The instinctual, instantaneous response of the body and memory From childhood, one has been conditioned that way to meet danger so that the mind responds instantly, otherwise, there is physical destruction. We are asking whether it is possible to act in the very seeing in which there is no conditioning at all. Can a mind respond freely and instantly to any form of distortion and therefore act? That is, perception, action, and expression are all one. Perception, action, and expression are all one. They are not divided, broken up. The very seeing is the acting, which is the expression of that seeing. When there is an awareness of fear, observe it so intimately that the very observation of it is the freeing of it, which is action. Could we go into that this morning? I feel this is very important. We might be able to penetrate into the unknown, but a mind that is in any way deeply conditioned by its own fears, ambitions, greed, despair, and all the rest of it cannot possibly penetrate into something that requires an extraordinarily healthy, sane, balanced, and harmonious being. Harmonious being. So our question is whether a mind, meaning the whole being, can be aware of a particular form of perversion, a particular form of striving, of violence, and seeing it can end it, not gradually, but instantly. This means not allowing time to occur between perception and action. When you see danger, there is no time interval, instant action takes place. So the topic, the subtitle was awareness without time interval. Tiger chasing tiger. So is it possible to end violence not only outwardly, but deep down at the very roots of our being, and the sense of aggression, the pursuit of power, in the very seeing of it completely, friends, in the very seeing of it completely, can we end it without allowing time to come into being? Can we discuss that this morning? Usually, we allow time to enter the interval between seeing and acting, the lag between what is and what should be. There is the desire to get rid of what is in order to achieve or to become something else. One must understand this time interval very clearly. We think in those terms because from childhood we are brought up and educated to think eventually, gradually, we will be something. Outwardly, technologically, one can see that time is necessary. I can't become a first-class carpenter or physicist or mathematician without spending many years in it. One may have the clarity. I dislike to use the word intuition to see a mathematical issue when one is quite young. And one realizes that to cultivate the memory that is demanded in learning a new technique or a new language, time is absolutely necessary. I can't speak German tomorrow. I need many months. I know nothing about electronics, and to learn about it, I need perhaps many years. So don't let's confuse the time element that is necessary in order to learn a technique with the danger of allowing time to interfere with perception and action. You see, there he say that don't confuse these two things, situations for skill. You need definitely time, years, months, depending technology. Now, related to this very seeing, I have another important thing. We are now concerned not with looking, but with what it is that is looking. With what it is that is looking. Is the instrument that is looking spotted, distorted, tortured, burdened? What is important is not the seeing, but the observation of yourself. Who is the instrument that is looking? How beautifully he has merged a self into this. If I have a conclusion, for instance, nationalism, and look with that deep conditioning, that tribal exclusiveness called nationalism, obviously I look with a great deal of prejudice. Therefore, I can't see clearly. Or if I am afraid to look, then that obviously is a distorted look. Or if I am ambitious for enlightenment or for a bigger position or whatever it is, then that also prevents the clarity of perception. One has to be aware, one has to be aware of all that, aware of the instrument that is looking, the instrument that is looking, and whether it is clean. So here we come in very much. I'm the way I'm listening, the way I'm seeing, the way I'm everything comes into that, whether I'm aware of myself simultaneously, what is happening to the self in me, and it will automatically, friends, it will tell you whether I'm conditioned, whether I'm feeling resistance, any resistance in me, whether I'm trying to answer something, whether I want to react to something, then everything. So while listening and seeing, if these things happen, so naturally these things will, uh, and how it is associated with learning, you see. Learning is a constant movement, a constant renewal. It is not having learned, looking from there, by listening to what is being said and by watching ourselves a little bit, we learn something, we experience something, and from that learning and experiencing, we look. We look with the memory of what we have learned and with what we have experienced. With that memory in mind, we look. Therefore, it is not looking, it is not learning. Learning implies a mind that learns each time anew. Learning implies a mind that learns each time anew. So it is always fresh to learn. Bearing that in mind, we are not concerned with the cultivation of memory, but rather to observe and see what actually takes place. We'll try to be very, very alert, very attentive, so that what we have seen and what we have learned doesn't become a memory with which we look and which is already a distortion. We are concerned only with the basic change in what is actually going on inwardly in ourselves. As we said, the world and ourselves are not two different entities. The world is us and we are the world. To bring about a great change at the very root of our being, a revolution, a mutation, a transformation, it doesn't matter what word one uses. That is what we are involved in during these discussions. Can one look at oneself clearly without any distortion? Distortion being the desire to evaluate, to judge, to achieve, to get rid of what is. All that pervert, all that prevents clear perception, prevents one from looking exactly and intimately at what is. So I think this morning we should spend some time in discussing or talking over together. He often uses this word together because when we listen or discuss with in togetherness, you become non-dual for some time and then dual, then non-dual and then dual. So this when non-dual togetherness, when this non-dual becomes, you see, it becomes a big energy source to understand. So likewise, this is what I had uh, taken to share with all of you friends. Now you can have whatever you feel like. I want all of you to feel free and uh, uh, see if there are, if you find any flaws in what is being said to you, because again, uh, self can be trapped very easily. Self can be trapped very easily, and we all love to be trapped. We are used to it. We are in prison. We love prison. So we often go back to that and feel comfortable, but only for some time. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much. You are welcome.
If anybody want to comment or say something, please come forward. Prasad sir,
Sir, uh, I said you are not allowing us to unmute. So
no, because
now you
basically
have
when
allowed. Now you have allowed. Sir, Pradeep ji has done a wonderful job. He has brought out the essence of that 2 pages of Krishna ji's writing. Uh, the point there is seeing, learning, observing, all these things are important. And you cannot see properly unless you are free of certain things. That is, unless your mind is clear, unless you are free of all those things. He said neurotic promptings, feelings, fear, sorrow, all these things, you must be free of them. Then only you can see properly. And when you see properly, then Krishna ji says that seeing itself is action. There is no action separate from seeing. What we normally do is we postpone action. We say seeing is one thing, and then after deliberation, further deliberation, we act. There is a distance between idea and action. That is what we do normally. Krishna ji says a proper seeing itself is action. There is no further gulf between seeing and action. That is a perception, total perception is itself action. That is what he says. Perception, action, and expression are all one. They are not divided, broken up. The very seeing is the active, which is the expression of that seeing. So, he says certain things like, is it possible to end violence? End violence not only superficially, but deep down. There is deep down, all of us carry the germ of violence, and we carry it very down below. That is in the subconscious. He has said the same thing. Usually we allow time to enter the interval between seeing and acting, the lag between what is and what should be. Pradeep ji has clearly said, we all carry nationalism in our hearts. When you have that prejudice of nationalism, which he himself called it tribalism. Yes, Krishnaji's stand is that nationalism itself is tribalism. So, when your mind is clear of all these things, one has to be aware of all these things for oneself. We point out in others, but we don't point out in ourselves. You see, today we see in Bangalore, what is that stupid thing? 11 people dying in that Mela. You see, everybody wants to grab credit for the win. And what is there in that win? It is a sport. Today you win and tomorrow you lose. So, for that, you see the anxiety of that, fervor, for a cause which is no cause at all. And one has to observe all these things for himself. You observe the outside world and you observe yourself, how you are reacting, we have so many stupid things like that Kumbh Mela, there also people die. Everywhere people die. And what is it? There is no proper seeing. Okay, sir, we can go on all these things. We observe every day, and we only hope that we are at least free of them. A certain small number of people, if they are free of these things, maybe that will have some effect that's all our hope. And whether we succeed or fail, that's a different matter, but for yourself, you have to be clear. And I think Pradeep ji has done a good job with pointing out. We are not pointing out, we are afraid of pointing out, or we don't want to point out, or we ourselves share those things. Whatever the reason, we don't talk. So, when we observe these things, Krishna ji says, the proper perception, proper seeing itself is action. That it's action without further discussion and all that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prasad sir. Dakshina Murthy sir.
Good evening to all. First of all, I want to thank Kamalesh ji because I was not having this book with me and I requested him to send that chapter 11. And now he has sent the entire book. I have to sit and read it. Is a nice gesture, and because of that, I was able to go through this particular chapter 11, which is titled as Art of Seeing. My understanding is like this. First of all, the title itself is very challenging. They said it's the art of seeing, then awareness without time interval, and then tiger chasing tiger. What is this tiger chasing tiger? Which tiger is chasing which tiger, and why it comes in art of seeing? I will come to that a little later. Before that, this point that we are talking, Krishnaji is talking of the beauty of observation, of seeing. There is a beauty in observing when the observer is not there. The observer is the past. The observer is the accumulated knowledge. The observer is all the content of consciousness. And when you see with that observer, he is always interfering with what you are observing. So the true observation is not happening. Some noise is coming. Yeah, I think it is gone. Thank you. So the true observation, the true seeing, the true listening can happen only when the observer is not there. You are in a state of observing without the observer. That is called pure observation. And in fact, Krishnaji goes one step forward and says that in pure observation, you are actually accumulating energy. There is no dissipation of energy. Whereas in thinking, there is a dissipation of energy. Now, the art of seeing, listening, and watching. Krishnaji gave a lot of importance to it, and he also said that art means keeping things in the right place. In the house also, we do a lot of cleaning up. We keep things in the proper place. Then you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed, and you feel nice in your own house. Likewise, in our consciousness, in our psychological field, what does it mean to have that art of seeing and listening and watching? That we have to understand very carefully. Here, because it is a psychological field and the interference of the knowledge and interference of thought in the psychological field is creating all the problem. Because in the psychological field, thought has created a thinker, and the thinker is interfering with what we are seeing, what we are observing. So pure observation is not happening. So can we put thought in its right place? Because art means putting things in right place. Thought is important. In the physical and the technological field, we need thought, and thought has done wonders. But the same thought, when it entered the psychological field, which is a wrong place for thought, and because of that, we are not able to have pure observation. We are not able to have pure seeing and listening, and that's why all the problems are coming. In fact, in a dialogue with Professor Anderson, Krishnaji and Anderson, there's a book called A Wholly Different Way of Living. In that, in chapter 18, when they were talking of meditation, Krishnaji talks about somebody told him about that. And in Eskimo language, the word thought also means something outside. So if you want to tell somebody to go outside, use that word because it also means going outside. So what he is trying to convey is thought has a place only in the outside world, and thought has no place in the inside world. When it has come to the inside world, and because it is in the wrong place, it is created havoc. We are seeing it. Every day we are seeing it because thought is in the wrong place. So this art of seeing and listening are possible only when thought is not interfering with the act of observation. That is very important. And the other thing he is telling is, when there is a danger, the body has its own intelligence. And with that intelligence, we are able to take care of the danger immediately without thought interfering. And that is a mechanism nature has given to the human body to save itself, to save the organism. For example, nobody will go and touch a fire because they know that fire will burn your fingers. In our family also, we see young children when they go near the fire, mother and father come close by and tell them. Or if something like that happens, he will never go near the fire. It's very clear. And that's why he's talking of physical destruction also. Because the natural intelligence, body intelligence has to be respected. Otherwise, it will create problem. It will create a physical destruction. So, to understand the psychological problems, we should not use thought, number one. Number two, as we know, thought is time and time is thought. The time element also creates problem. That's why he's talking of perception. In perception, there is no thought. Perception includes seeing as well as acting, instantaneous, without bringing the time element. Again, he is making it very clear, in the physical and technological world, time is needed. Like I want to learn mathematics, I want to learn some language, I want to learn some electronics, etc. I need time and more time. I'm sure we all have gone through that. In our schools and colleges, we take a lot of time to get a degree, graduation, post-graduation, or some specialization and all that. So that is the right place for thought. But the same thought entering the psychological field is creating havoc. As we know, so much of destruction, so much of enmity, man killing man, tribalism, all these things are happening, nothing but because of the action of thought, being in the wrong place. So he is telling that we should see that. And can we perceive without time element, which means it is a unitary process, perception and action. In the psychological world, perception, earlier our Pradeep ji was also talking of learning. Learning happens only in the present moment. There is no time element there. And to learn, what they are telling is there is no accumulation, but there is elimination. The learning process means observing something and having the discernment, what is false and what is true, and the false should drop away or it should be eliminated. But we are not able to do that. We have not reached that state at all, many of us. So the other thing that he's talking of is that tiger chasing tiger. Tiger chasing tiger. Here is very interesting if you go into it. He is talking about the consciousness in the psychological world. We have got a lot of psychological disorders in us, like anger, fear, jealousy, hatred, and also suffering. All these things are there in every human being because the consciousness is common to all of us. Krishnaji is calling them tigers. Little tiger, bigger tiger, smaller tiger, all these things he's talking. And the tiger chasing tiger. That you have to understand clearly. Which tiger is chasing which tiger? If you go a bit deeply into it, he's talking about the psyche, the ego being the bigger tiger. So bigger tiger chasing smaller tiger. But in the process, what is happening? You are not able to eliminate the tigers at all. You eliminate one tiger, another tiger is born because the bigger tiger is still there. So he is talking at the end of this chapter. I have gone through the whole chapter. At the end, he beautifully explains all these things, the tiger and all these things. So this is not the way to end the tiger, but can I stay with that? I don't take a decision to destroy the smaller tiger by using the bigger tiger, which means I want to destroy my anger, for example, using the ego. That means willpower and decision making and all that. But man has never achieved it. No human being has ever got rid of his anger. There could be a degree of difference, but anger is still there. It's not completely eliminated. So he says the decision making should not be there. And also, you should discontinue this thinking of chasing tigers. But instead, you simply observe. In that observation, if it is a pure observation, all your problems can be eliminated. That is what I understood, and I thought I will share with all of you. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello.
Ravi Kaushal ji, please.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
So, sir, today's topic is the art of seeing. So, in this sense, Prasad Mulupuri sir said about this nationalism, and I'm adding one more word, religionism is also one. Actually, I see. Uh, uh, I was in one Pune group where C. Swamiji is giving lecture, and in that, some person asked about this. There is, chaos going on in Gaza and this Ukraine war and Russia war, and this whatever in the name of religion uh, havoc going on in our country. So the thing is that, do we see the danger of this or not? Actually, that is the only thing. So the one questioner asked about this: how can we deal with all that? So I instantly respond um, just by grabbing that mic, and I said that this, how do you deal with the poison? See this thing as a poison. If you don't see this thing as a poison, your mind will continue in this, and you will be the part of this. Either you see this total religionism and nationalism as a poison, or you don't see. That is the only thing. And if you see that, how you deal with that poison? You don't touch the poison. You never touch the poison. And when you do that, both the things created by the thought reach to its place, its right place. Nationalism also has its place. Religionism also has its place, but they will not carried away you. Never carried away you. If you see the danger, if you don't see the danger, then you are the part of it. That is the only thing you have to see. Because you're not Hindu, you're not Muslim. You're all. You are Hindu and the Muslim and the Jain and everybody of this earth. जो भी यहाँ पर है वो सब तुम हो. वो जो गाजा पे मर रहे हैं या अफ्रीका के अंदर जो बच्चों के साथ होता है वो सब आपके साथ होता है. See that. Then only there is the right action. Otherwise, you're talking. Continue. And Kamlesh sir, stop me anytime whenever I talk on these matters. But okay. So these are the things, sir. Please see that this is really, really one person has to see in total clarity. This is one thing, and then there is the art of seeing. So the art of seeing and this what is and what should. I'm saying that what the art of seeing required. Why we don't see the things and the traps of the mind instantly, like when I'm using now, because of the thanks to Kev, that we have understood that all psychological problems we cannot deal it in time, because the time is a continuity. Then you are always with the time. वो continuity आप 20 साल से शुरू करोगे और 20,000 साल तक चले जाओगे. You're thinking in terms of compartment, as Dinesh sir always do that. But if you're doing it in compartments, then there is time. Then the time is, it's a trap of the mind. You cannot perceive things. So to see, and one more thing is also, I see that you cannot, philosophically see the things. Personally, I think that in my life, I have to see the anger in my life. वो जो practical चीज है, that must be practical. That must be, some sense of liveliness. Whenever I have, this anger or greed in my action, to perceive that is the only thing which brings space in your consciousness actually. So that is the one thing, and what is and what should be, it's a trap to see that, and then you understand that there is only one thing, that is what is. If you see your own what is, only then there is some space and some understanding. Without all the that's fundamental understanding, which enhance your consciousness. So okay, sir, thank you, thanks a lot.
Dinesh ji, please unmute.
Are you able to hear my voice, sir?
Yes,
Clearly? It is coming clearly?
yes, it is coming clearly.
Okay. This time it is very difficult subject, which it has come up, and thanks to Verma ji for taking out this subject. Particularly in this explanation or in this teaching, it is very difficult what JK wants to say. He says art of seeing is the heading, and awareness without time interval. Now, he says it is important to understand the nature and beauty of observation of seeing. Normally, just for the understanding, he separates these two words, observation and see. In case of perception, he uses normally seeing, and observation, observer and observed and observation. So there he uses the word observation in a different way together. But here he is clearly saying that these two are, there is no division, and these two words are almost same. Now, not only that, the art of seeing, listening, watching, all words are he now added or kept at a one place. Seeing, listening, watching is not a thing to be cultivated. When he say talk of cultivation, he puts all these words together. Then he also says it is not the question of evolution, gradual growth. When one is aware of danger, there is a when one is aware of danger, there is immediate action. Now he comes to directly action. So there are two points, important points in this teaching. One is seeing, awareness without time interval, and another is action. Now, the problem here is which action he is talking. Is he talking about psychological action in the psychological field, or in the technical field, or in worldly matters, or what? So this is the main context. It is not a question of evolution and gradual growth. when one is aware of danger, there is immediate action. The instantaneous response of body and memory. So here he says he has made all the things one. Means mind covers everything, total body and your everything, what you are having. Even ego also is a part of that such mind. Then he says, we are asking now in this, mainly he has asked question. We are asking whether it is possible to act in the very scene in which there is no conditioning at all. So one has to understand, right now Ravi Kaushal was saying that I use normally divisions to explain. But here one should understand what he is talking, JK. Which seeing in action he is talking. It is very clear, he has mentioned that in my views, my understanding, he has said that these two things are different. Means psychological action, your worldly matters action, these are different. And means your physical action is different. But in psychological field, when you are having fear, greed, and envy, etc., the action is different. So one has to be very aware that what is coming up, and whatever is coming up, after seeing it, it should be gone or destroyed or whatever you say it as you want to say. But important point here is how to remove it. We know here he has not given any explanation or this thing, but he said that this at other places that you should have fresh energy, you should have the right this attention and all that. Attention means again without seeing without ego. Attention means seeing without ego. So ego should be kept behind or sideways or whatever it is. So one has to understand that in this he is only talking about the psychological aspect and not the physical or other aspects. So in other things, whatever you are working, in that time interval will be there. So time interval will automatically there in all other fields. Say you have to learn a language or whatever skill you have to learn. All worldly problems you have to tackle in this way only. Suppose I have to go to bank and I have to do some work there, then time is required. So all other places, such kind of time is will be coming in between. In psychological field, where the fear has come up, there you have to see that immediately you have to see that fear has come up. Your awareness should be so attentive that it should know that fear has come up, and then as soon as the fear has come up, it should be in a position to delete it, or it should be in a position to remove it, whatever word you want to use. How it is possible? Here ego he has separated down, and mind he has used the word mind. Mind is trapped. So ego is whatever the past content, psychological content, and mind is right now is only operating in the grooves in which ego is moving or ego is working. But there are so many other space in that, and there are so many other facilities in that, features are in that, which you can use provided your this ego is not there. This has also been explained or said by Verma ji that you are having clairvoyance and all that. So there are so many things. If your mind is free, then these things may come to you. So one has to understand that here we are talking of only psychological and not any other thing. Know your language, know your work, know your worldly things, nothing. You can see it, and psychologically you can be free from it. Say you Ukraine war, and you can be psychologically free from it. But otherwise, if you want to take any action or you want to do something, then time interval will definitely will be coming into picture. So when he is talking of seeing, he says there should not be any conditioning at all. So conditioning, whatever conditioning we are not right now, we are not separating conditioning from all the three fields, like psychological, like physical, or your physical or worldly things and all that, and psychological. We are mixing all the three things. So we have to segregate what is psychological portion, and that should be gone immediately as soon as it arises. So he says, can a mind respond freely? He used the word mind. Respond freely and instantaneously to any form of distortion and act. That is perception, action, interpretation, all are one. They are not divided, broken up. When your mind is free, then these all things are one. The very seeing is the acting, which is the expression of that seeing. When there is an awareness of the fear, observe it so intimately that the very observation of it is the freeing of it. This is what we are talking, which is action. Mind meaning the whole being. Here he says mind meaning the whole being. He also says one must understand the time interval very clearly. Outwardly, technological time is absolutely necessary. This we have already discussed. I'm just repeating. So don't get confused. The time interval necessary in order to learn a technique with the danger of allowing time to interfere with perception and action. So don't confuse here. Time being effort, concentration, attention. So what is time? Time is being effort, concentration, and attention. So, and when the other thing which comes into picture is thought is animal. So this he has talked in response to one of the questioner that when he is using word snack. So he said there are so many snacks. And if suppose so immediately the JK said that, so you mean to say there are so many tigers inside you. And as he always does, he is trying to awaken that person. How do you do it? In one step, without waiting for the removing all the snakes. Because if you will remove all the snakes or all the tigers, then it will take a lifelong time. And by the time you will remove all the things, you will be dead. So he says, tiger chasing tiger means one thought chasing other thought. Means so in inside, and there are so many issues. It is those thoughts are related to so many issues in the world, and you are getting sentimental about this, or you are having attached to those issues. So ultimately, what he is trying to do, without naming or without saying clearly or openly, he says that you should have, the mind should be so wise that he should be in a position to do it. Now, who will be doing it and who is observing it? Ego should not observe that I am in fear or this thing. A fear has arisen in me. Actually, mind should see without any center, and the intelligence should act. So he means that one should be so having so wisdom. So here he is talking of wisdom basically. You should have so much wisdom that intelligence should come in picture, and he should remove all these things. So it is not a simple thing in my experience of so many years. This removal is not simple, because one should be having so wisdom. One should have so much wisdom that he can be immediately the psychological thought and your worldly thought or physical technological thought, they all should be segregated immediately, and then he should be in a position to take any and the action should be taken against the psychological thought just by perception. So one should be in a position to remove all these things, or in all these what you can say, the disturbances or the distortions of the mind immediately, because as soon as the fear will be there or other things will be there will be a distortion of mind, and he should be in a position to mind should be so wise that it should be immediately see it and remove it, and that is his calling art of seeing. Means initially starting from the seeing where ego is not present, without thought, when you are seeing, then after that this perception should create an action which has got no time interval. Means in case of psychological issues, the awareness should give the message, or you can say that it should be so, one should be so attentive that it should be in a position to, the mind should be in a position to clear the all these vices or problems or whatever you call it. Thank you. Then we will see next what comes.
Lakshmi ji,
Namaste to everybody. As I did not read the chapter because it was not kept in the group, but as much as I know about seeing, I am saying, in real seeing, there is no seer or observer. Generally, I, as a body, I identify myself with the body and I say I'm seeing, but that's not the thing. Seeing is without any seer seeing. So in that seeing, transformation is there. For example, I see a snake. Seeing is action. And the moment I see a snake, action will be there. They are not two different steps. So without the interference of the thought, seeing is a whole action. So when the thought interferes, then the center will be there, that I and the seer is there, and then that is not the full action. So real seeing is action and transformation. Immediately there will be. And it is awareness. Why it is said awareness is not of the mind. It is beyond the mind. When the mind is still, awareness will be there. And in that awareness, there is no center, that there is no I, which is made of mind. There is no observer or seer. That is why they are not two steps. Action, perception, seeing is perception, and perception is action. So these are all in one unitary process, they all happen. Like that, seeing in total seeing, there is knowing, and without center, happening is a natural thing, but without seer is a natural thing, but we are accustomed to unnatural as natural. That is why I am seeing, we say. The natural thing is seeing and action and perception. These are all natural things. Okay? Namaste.
Prasad sir.
Sir, I think the essence of this chapter is that we keep on trying and trying and trying. We want to achieve some result. We keep on trying. We achieve some result. And after some time, that result is dissipated. You get back to the same problem and you try again. That is I think, the essence of this chapter. He has said, there are serpents in you, tigers in you, snakes in you, and all that. He has used all those words. All those words only to describe the issues in oneself. Like, we keep on worrying about so many things like health and all those things. He has, in the beginning itself, fear, sorrow, all these things are the tigers, or they are the serpents or snakes and all that. To get rid of these tigers one by one, you need time. That is what we say. That is our position. I have to get rid of these tigers, and I have to get rid of them one by one, which takes time. I think that is what Mr. Waghmare has also said. So that position is being questioned. We are questioning that position together. We have accepted that it requires time to gradually kill those snakes which are in me, one after the other. I go on killing one after the other these snakes, which means I am resolving those issues one by one. That takes time. And there are 1,000 me's in me, 1,000 snakes. There are 1,000 snakes in me. All those problems. And by the time I have killed them all, I shall be dead. you see, sir, this is so funny. Yes, that is our position. We keep on reading Krishnaji's books, keep on seeing his videos, and we have spent 30 years and we are where we were. There is no real mutation. So, and then you see the problem he is describing at the end. Getting more and more angry and then calming down. He is talking of anger. We become angry and then we calm down. We resolve it partially. And a week later, again getting angry and then calming down. So this week you are angry, you have calmed down, and the next week again you become angry. Same thing. Or is there a way of looking at all the tigers, the little one, the big one, the one just being born, all of them? And before that, he says, I can spot the various tigers, the mother tiger with her cubs and the husband. The mother tiger with her cubs and her husband. That is same thing. The anger in you, the sorrow in you, the fear in you, the ambition in you, the becoming process in you, all these things are tigers. And have we to keep on killing one snake after the other till we die? Or is there a way of looking at all of the tigers? The little one, the big one, the one just being born, all of them. Is there a way of looking at all of them in one glance? That is, you see, you observe yourself, and in that observation, with one observation, can you see all this process? Krishnaji doesn't believe in gradual process. He has said, when you are trying to solve violence, we are trying to be non-violent. You are trying to be non-violent. That you are following that. You are keeping that ideal of non-violence in your mind. When you are keeping that ideal in your mind, you are only being violent. You are not being non-violent. And that is exactly what we can see in our country today. We have glorified the ideal of non-violence. But are we really non-violent? Are we not violent? Are we less violent than the Japanese, who have no such ideal possibly? So, the solution is, can I watch them all so completely that I have understood the whole business? If I am not capable of that, if I am not capable of observing all these things with one glance, if I am not capable of that, then my life will go on in the old routine. My life will go on in the old routine, in the bourgeois way, the complicated, the stupid, the cunning way. That's all. So, if you have known how to listen, the morning sermon is over. And then he ends this chapter with a beautiful anecdote of a guru who comes to give a sermon before his audience. He is sitting before his audience. Then a bird comes and perches on a branch in a tree over his head. It sings for, let us say, 5 minutes, and then it flies away. The guru says, for today, the sermon is over. That is, the bird's song is the sermon for today, which means we have to observe the birds, our surroundings, our environment, and all these things. They are the teachers, something like that. In essence, what he is talking of is reject this process of gradualness. Try to understand the problems, all the problems involved in you, because you are the creator of the problems. Accept that position. Don't say the society has created the problems. You have created all these problems. You are the world. And so you accept your responsibility and try to be free of all these problems without trying to tussle with them, each one of them, see the problem with one glance. I think that is what he is what he tried to tell us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prasad sir. Dinesh ji, you want to say some comment
No,
or
Yes.
you already
yes.
unmuted me. I wanted to say something.
I am also unmuted.
Okay, you go
okay,
ahead.
one person talk at a time, so we can listen to single person and there should be no confusion.
Okay, I will mute myself.
Dinesh ji,
Yeah,
please continue. I will unmute Dakshina Murthy sir after 2-3 minutes.
What did you say, Murak sir?
I will unmute Dakshina Murthy sir after 1-2 minutes.
Okay. What I wanted to say, one should be very careful that whatever JK has said, that is only for the psychological field and not the other field. All other fields will be having time interval and all, which should be very clear. Now, what is psychological field? Psychological field means all your voices acting in you, whatever attachments you are having, whatever demands you are having, which undue demands you are having, or whatever what we can say, this envy in you, fear in you, or this means whatever comes under the psychological field, he is talking only about that and not about other any other thing, like you are learning a car or learning this thing. So one has to understand that as far as a man is concerned, more than 75% or 80% world is other world, and only 10 to 20% world is of psychological problems. So, but these 20% are very problematic as far as that individual is concerned. So for that, he's advising all this, or he's giving the pointers about these things. So one has to understand all these things. And other point is this what we are talking about, what Prasad sir was talking. It seems that we got fascinated by the different words, tiger, your snack, and all that. So these are only to listening to these words, one gets startled, or one gets fascinated, or somebody gets having some other feeling or emotion, so that he becomes, it works for him like a stimulus. So JK's this aspect of speaking, one also should understand, and one should be very careful. Again, I am repeating, this only applies to psychological world, and one has to be that mind has to be very clear in bifurcating these all aspects, and that is not simple. And he should have that much energy also, fresh energy. Freedom means freedom. He should have that freedom also, and he should be so he should have so much wisdom that he can remove all this. Thank you.
Dakshina Murthy sir, some clarity on art of listening, art of seeing, art of observation and all that.
Yeah. Okay, I will try. First of all, thank you for giving me the time. The last paragraph, because that is the end of the chapter, where Krishnaji is like summarizing. Already Mr. Prasad has covered a little of it. The other part I will just cover. I read out the last paragraph, part of it. Krishnaji is talking. Go slow, sir. Let me explain. I say, before I chase the animal, I want to find out who is the entity that is going to chase. that is going to chase it. So when the question, he is talking of tiger chasing tiger, no? That means there is a bigger tiger chasing the smaller tiger. That's how he develops it. I want to find out who is the entity that is going to chase the animal. And I say it may be a bigger tiger. If I want to get rid of all the tigers, it is no good getting a bigger tiger to chase a little tiger. So I say, wait, I don't want to chase anything out. I see what is happening in my mind. I don't want to chase anything out, but I want to look. So he is telling, instead of one tiger chasing another tiger, bigger tiger chasing smaller tiger becoming a bigger tiger, all this has no good. Instead of that, can I observe? Can I look? In the psychological field, already Dinesh also has mentioned, in the psychological field, what is important is observation or awareness. The human mind is endowed with two faculties. One is the faculty of thinking, other is the faculty of observing or faculty of awareness. But we have forgotten that faculty of observation because we have given so much importance to thinking. Now Krishnaji is taking us back to that state of observation, pure observation, which is essential to understand psychological problems. So again, coming back to this tiger business, he is telling, I want to look, I want to observe, I want to be very clear whether a bigger tiger is chasing a little tiger. This game will go on forever. That is what is going on in the world. The tyranny of one particular country chasing a smaller country suddenly has gone back to nations. Now we are seeing in the Gaza Strip, the war is happening. How Israel is killing millions of Palestinians just because the Hamas has hijacked some 140 or so Israeli people. The Netanyahu, he has no consideration, no sympathy, no compassion for the millions of Gaza, innocent people in Gaza being killed. But he's worried about the 140 Israelis being taken as hostages. That's how the world is going. The tyranny of one particular country chasing a smaller country. Everywhere it is happening. Look at Ukraine. Russia is bombarding Ukraine, a smaller country. So I am coming back to what Krishna is telling. So I am now very aware. Please follow this, that I must not chase anything. This chasing business is not going to help us in the psychological world. I must root out this principle of chasing something out, overcoming it, dominating it. If I try to chase out something or overcome it or dominate it, that is not going to help. Because the decision which says I must get rid of the tiny little tiger may grow into a bigger tiger. We have a small decision saying that it's a small tiger, it is helpless, so I will get rid of that. But slowly, in the process, you are becoming a bigger tiger. That is, ego is becoming a bigger tiger. Then I can look. Then I say to myself, I won't chase anything away. Therefore, I am free of the burden of time. The chasing is a time process. Killing smaller tigers one by one, that will not help. So I take a decision, I come to a conclusion, I will not chase anything. Therefore, I am free of the burden of time, which is to chase one tiger with another tiger. In that, there is a time interval, and I say, therefore, I won't do a thing. I won't chase. I won't act. I won't decide. I must first look. So, leaving all these actions, decisions and actions, I must look. I must observe. I must see. I am looking, I don't mean the ego. Again, he is making it clear. If the ego is looking, that is not pure observation, that's not pure looking. That's why he is using the word mind. But the mind is looking. The brain is watching. I can spot various tigers, the mother tiger with her cubs and their husband. I can watch all that. That means a lot of thoughts are coming and thoughts are leading to various psychological disorders. You all must be aware. In our consciousness, there is a psychological disorder. And you get order in the consciousness, only you eliminate the disorders. You can't have a blueprint of order. You can't have a system, you can't have a method to have order. That will become mechanical and you are not actually getting order because you are not able to get rid of the disorder. So he is telling to get rid of the disorder is order. And that order is virtue. And that virtue is love and compassion. It is as simple as that.
Sir,
Yeah, that's what I thought I will share because rest of the things already Prasad sir has talked about, including the sermon he talked about. That is, he is talking about the art of listening. If you listen, the art of listening is a miracle of attention. These are Krishnaji's words, they are not my words. Can you listen in a state of attention? In a state of attention, there is a total energy, a summation of energy is there, and also the observer is not there. When the observer is not there, when the ego is not there, you have pure observation, you have pure listening, you have pure seeing. That is what he is telling. That's all from my side. Thank you.
we have crossed the time limit and time has already crept in. Otherwise, linear time has crept in. So we will have to end the meeting. Dinesh, is anything left?
Yeah, last word.
If
what
at
I would
all
like to
possible, you
say.
can complete in 1 minute.
Last word, I should say. If he was so much against Guru, why he should give an example of a Guru? Number one. This is food for the thought today. Why he should give such example? Another point I want to say that for all other activities of worldly nature and all that, for all worldly things, how the action will take place. Action will take place is the normal way which we are taking right now. That's what I want to say. Means thinking, because of experience, there will be thinking, and based on thinking, you will take a decision. Suppose a pump has gone out, or something else has happened in your house, then you will, based on your experience only, you will take action. Thank you.
So
There was a
we have
question
come
from
to
Ravi Kaushal.
we have come to end of the time. So we will have to end the meeting. Thanks everybody for participating and putting light on all the three arts: listening, seeing, and observing. Thank you.